Here's your complete up-to-date guide on how to play custom zombies on Black Ops 3. We're going to be covering everything here from what you need to the installation process, as well as addressing all safety concerns that have been surrounding this game on the internet in the last few years, as well as of course how to play and where to find the best maps and mods to enjoy. All of these sections are going to be shown as chapters on the timeline, so if you want to jump to the parts that are relevant to you, you can absolutely do that. First and foremost, let's talk about what you need. So right off the bat, I have to say this does not work on consoles. This only works on PC, and you'll need a Steam copy of the official Call of Duty Black Ops 3 game. It's important to note here that you do not need to have the DLC to enjoy custom zombies. Even if those custom zombies maps use assets from DLC maps, it is not a problem. You do not have to buy DLC if you don't want to. Also, to anyone who's watching this video who's come to PC from console, you'll be pleased to know that both Xbox and PlayStation controllers have native support in this game. Once you've installed Black Ops 3 onto your PC or Steam Deck, all you need to do is head to this workshop tab. This here is the installation process. You simply have to just browse for the maps and mods that you want to download and just hit subscribe. It is that simple, and what will happen is you'll see at the bottom that it will enter your downloads, and once that's completed, that map or mod is installed. And from here you can literally just boot up the game and I can show you guys how to play the content you've just installed. Now in the case of mods, you'll need to literally just go down into the mod section found on the main menu and load up whatever mod you downloaded. You'll know that you've got the mod running when you see the text on the top right corner, which means you're good to go. If what you installed was a map, you just simply need to find the map in the actual map browser with the rest of the official content, as you would do in a normal solo game or private match or etc. And yes, it is possible to run a custom mod on a custom map, though you can crash when you launch your game if they're incompatible. Needless to say, if you plan on playing any of this content with other people, they'll need to also have the mods or maps downloaded themselves. Playing with friends is self-explanatory. So long as they have the maps or mods installed, you can just invite them to your lobby and start the game nice and clean. But if you're looking to play with new or random people, normally the easiest thing to do would be to jump into some kind of Discord server to coordinate with people through there. I'll leave the link to my Discord in the description because we have a dedicated channel for those finding other players. But if you want to, you can go into the zombies menu and head down here to server browser to open the actual servers that are live right now and join one of those. It does also tell you what maps and mods are running in those servers. Now, whilst you're playing custom content, it's worth mentioning as well that by pressing Shift and Tab, you can navigate to the workshop page, and you'll notice that the maps that you can download also have a very convenient tab called Discussions, and in that you can find all kinds of things like Easter egg guides or Easter egg hunts, as well as tutorials for the maps themselves, which of course is very helpful that you can just quickly check that mid-game. And another helpful little tip is that the Steam overlay also has a notes widget that you can bring up if you want to actually write stuff down during an Easter egg run. So that just about covers how to play, but moving on, we're going to be talking about the all-important topic of the safety concerns surrounding this game. Now, you might have seen a lot of YouTubers, a lot of influencers who have stated that Black Ops 3 is not safe, that you will get a virus if you play this game, that people can infect your PC and all sorts. Now, this has been completely blown way out of proportion, and a lot of information out there is completely not up to date whatsoever. So in this section, I'm going to be taking the time to break it down with 100% clean-cut, accurate information. To make sure that this information is 100% accurate, I had a one-to-one chat with Anthony, aka SHIVERSOFTDEV, who not only is the leading expert on this particular topic of Black Ops 3 security concerns, but is also the person who's provided the community with the safest solution. So a massive thank you to them. I'll be leaving their Twitter in the description if you want to go ahead and show them some love. So the first thing I want to clear up is that as of the latest version after Treyarch's patch, there is currently no way for a remote crasher, hacker, whatever you want to call them, to compromise your PC. If you run this game vanilla with or without mods, playing in public sessions and whatnot, your PC will not be compromised. I want to also mention that these attacks are not nearly as frequent as they're made out to be on platforms like Twitter. There's definitely been a lot of fear mongering that has driven people to stop playing the game, when in reality, these attacks nowadays are becoming less and less frequent. And so before I mention what these attackers can do, I want to quickly mention that if you're someone who is under the radar, you're not actually like a content creator, a popular streamer or anything like that, most people seem to be able to play this game without falling victim to these attacks. Don't get me wrong, it's not impossible possible, but typically this kind of thing mainly occurs to people that can be used for some kind of publicity stunt. But let's talk about what these attackers can actually still do. So they're able to crash your game remotely, they're able to forcefully join your game, they're able to pull you out of yours and into their game, remotely play sounds, and worst case scenario, DDoS you. If an attacker also is the host of the game you're playing, they can mess with your game stats. So let's talk about the steps that you can take to protect yourself. Now, first and foremost, if you are a solo player, even if you're a streamer, the easiest clean-cut way to protect yourself is to go onto the Steam page before you boot up the game and go into Steam offline mode. This severs the game's connection to online services, which means attackers won't even be able to see you at all. This is the method that I personally use when I record videos or live stream, because the only possible vulnerability it has is if the attacker knows your IP address and you are port forwarded, which just overall is incredibly unlikely. Basically, if you're not port forwarded and you're in Steam's offline mode, no one can touch you. Now, if you want to play cooperative with friends, other content creators, whatever it may be, the safest way is to install and run the community patch developed by SHIVERSOFTDEV. If you run this patch with password protection, it is 100% future-proof and will protect you against all kinds of attack. This is because without the attacker knowing the password, they cannot transmit any data to your game. I'm going to show you how to use this community patch right now. In the description, I've posted the link to download the patch. Feel free to read all the latest information about it, but all you're going to want to do is head to the instructions section, click on the download the patch part, click on the T7 community patch zip file, and extract the contents to a folder you've made anywhere on your PC. Now, before you fire it up, what you're going to want to do is make sure that Black Ops 3 isn't running. It's very important that you launch the patch before you launch the game. Once the patch is open, simply boot up Black Ops 3 and you'll notice that on the top right corner, you'll see text confirming that the patch is operational. And yes, the patch must be ran every time you want to do this and kept open in the background. Once you're on the game, you can change your name to whatever you want and you can set a network password. This is of course the important part that adds as an extra layer of protection that will completely shield you from any incoming data traffic from attackers. This of course does mean that your friends that you intend to play with need to also be following these steps themselves. Now, you can use this patch without a password, which will actually allow you to join games and play with other players who aren't using the patch and just solely protect yourself. But by using the password system, you effectively enable an additional layer of protection, which basically makes your game impenetrable and provides you with the definitive future-proof method to play Black Ops 3's online safely. Now, I know some people might be wondering why I haven't touched on the Boy client, which was an alternate method to play Black Ops 3 and an alternate method to provide you with safety. The reason why I won't be talking about it in full in this video is simply because it does not offer the same level of protection as the method I've just spoken about. It can protect you from some things, but does not protect you against everything. Remote crashes are still possible, and on top of this, hosting a Boy community server can actually pose a risk depending on who stumbles upon it. And that's why to me, it's just not worth talking about since the official project was shut down. So hopefully all of this information gives a bit more clarity to the community on where we actually stand vis-a-vis the actual security concerns related to this game. And I want to thank SHIVERSOFTDEV yet again for the information here. Moving on though, onto the brighter topic, let's talk about where to find the best maps and mods to enjoy in this game. Now, thankfully, the workshop has a pretty convenient tab where you can actually look at the top rated maps as well as select the time period itself. So you can go for all time for maps that are, well, obviously posted at any point. But if you wanted to filter to the most recent, latest and greatest hits, of course, you can go down to like the 1 year section and check out the most up-to-date COD Zombies experiences. You can also switch it from most popular to most subscribed, which switches the statistics to all-time downloads, which is also a really nice way of understanding some of the most highly regarded content that you can find for this game. Now, in the description, I've dropped another little nugget in the form of a personal collection of mine filled with my own personal recommendations to you guys. Everything I've dropped into that list is, in my opinion, more than worth playing and some of the best stuff you can find in the entire workshop. And of course, alternatively, I now have a plethora of top 5s and zombie award videos that showcase the greatest hits that this community has to offer. I'll be linking those in the description as well. But that wraps up this video, lads, ladies and gentlemen. This was your in-depth, completely up-to-date, future-proof guide on how to play custom zombies on Black Ops 3. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.